Well, everyone, welcome to the dining room, welcome to today's show, and welcome to a game that I believe is a bit of an underrated gem. Antidote is a strategy card game for 2 to 7 players by Bellwether Games, and it's kind of like the love child with Sushi Go and Cluedo. This game appears complicated, turns out to be stupidly simple, and then you start to realize the complex strategy behind it. So bear with me for a second as we explain these mechanics. Trust me, it'll all make sense. So the way Antidote works is that players take actions until eventually everyone has one card left in their hand. That's not one. That being what they believe is the antidote. Before a round begins, your group randomly shuffles and picks one of these 7 X cards, placing face down in the center of the table, representing what you've all been poisoned with. Your goal is to figure out what that face down card is and end up with the same colored solution, having the correct antidote to the correct poison. If you are correct, you live and you win that many points. If you are wrong, however, you will die and you will lose that many points, going into the negatives if need be. The winner is whoever has the most points after 3 rounds. So, how do we go about finding this hidden mystery card? Well, the remaining 6 X cards, along with a few syringes and special items that you choose to play with, I'll get to that in a second, are randomly shuffled and then dealt equally to all players. Then, formula cards for all 7 substances equal to or below the amount of people playing are then shuffled and dealt equally to everyone. And somewhat brilliantly, this means that everyone has the exact same size starting hand. Going in a clockwise order, players may then decide to take one of 3 actions: discarding a card, trading research, or using a syringe. In order to keep hand sizes the same throughout the whole round, some of these actions will see everyone at the table perform them. Now, the more astute of you may have already seen where this is going, as there is one of each X card in the deck, and one of them's on the table with 6 of them now in circulation. If you at any point see an X card in this game, you know for certain that it's not the one in the middle, hence the whole Cluedo reference. Your goal is to then try and see as many X cards as you can, while also trying to obtain the highest scoring solution of the antidote. Trading research is the primary way you gain information in this game, and it can take one of 2 forms. Either A, you can force everyone at the table to swap one card from their hand to the player to their left or right, or B, you can perform a 1-to-1 trade with any individual player. For example, and something that a lot of people will do, is if you can find a player who has one of those X cards, you can agree just to trade them with one another and gain more information. Again, this is the primary way of how you figure out what's in the middle. If you are starting to get an idea of what the card in the middle is, you can begin to push the round to its end by discarding cards. If you want to discard, that means everyone at the table has to discard. Picking one card and counting down, everyone discards it to the space in front of them, also known as their workstation. If they were to discard an X card instead, however, they would place it face down. Now, the intuit of you may realize that if you use this feature and you see someone discarding a lot of a certain color, then you may also be able to reason that they know it's not the center card. You can also use this feature to gather new information, although at the same time, you can also be played as well. Finally, you can use the syringe. The syringe is a special card that allows you to steal or take something from a player's hand or workstation and replace it with that syringe. So, somewhat interestingly in this game, if you decide to steal from someone else's hand, you are then giving them the opportunity to steal from someone else later on. Conversely, if you decide to steal from someone else's workstation, you might be able to take that face down X card and get a bit more information for yourself. Or even better, if you're eyeing off a high scoring antidote card that you know is correct, you can take that and stack some points for you at the end of the round. There is a lot of counterplay to it, and it's lots of fun. Do you sort of see what I'm getting at here? All the strategy that I'm alluding to? More on that in a second. And that's pretty much it. Trade with people to find new information, use the syringe to steal stuff that people don't want you stealing, and discard cards if you think you know the answer. When everyone is down to one card, they then reveal to everyone what they're drinking as their antidote, basically what they're hedging their bets on. Then, all of you, looking in complete anticipation, flip the center card to see how badly you've screwed up, or you've got it right, in which case you get to brag a bit. This game builds up tension so easily from the start, where you're deciding what to discard, what to trade, what information to give to people, all the way up until the end when you're flipping that final face down card, only to realize that you've completely screwed yourself up, and let's be honest, everyone else has. That is if you didn't screw up the draw like we did and accidentally put a solution card in the middle.
I haven't seen either of these.
But at any rate, it really brings you in trying to discern what's going on in any given game state. And yes, there is a ton of strategy on offer here, and it's all up for you to figure out. It's very intuitive in that way that you get a hang of it after a few games. For example, if you're pretty confident you know what's in the middle, throwing out colors of that card is very handy because it's going to screw over everyone else at the table. Right at the end, if you're going to be particularly devious, using a syringe to pick up one of those discarded cards and ending up drinking that scores you a ton of points while also screwing over everyone else. On that note, the point system in this game is very ingenious and unique, and I absolutely love it. It asks you how confident you are in your choice. If you're pretty certain you know what's in the middle, you can take one of those 6 or 7 point cards, earning a lot of points for when the round does end. And if you're a little bit unsure and you've got a few options to play with, then you could just drink one of those 1 or 2 low scoring cards. That way, if you're correct, good job, you've scored a few points, but if you're wrong, it's not the biggest loss in the world. Mind you, some games you are just stuck with a 7 pointer, but fortunately there are ways to maneuver around it. That's the brilliant thing about this game, there's always counterplay to everything. If you have no idea what the card in the middle is, and you think someone else does, you could always just steal it. But oh boy, we ain't even done yet, because this game includes extra rules just to mess with everyone and their plans. The placebo and clinical trial are cards that you could add in up to your discretion. The former allows you to swap out cards whenever someone steals it from your workstation. It's face down like a normal X card. The latter allows everyone at the table to steal a card from a player's workstation to the left or right. This allows for just some crazy shenanigans, but admittedly does make the game a bit longer. And then there are the ID cards and romance cards that make you have to stop and consider everyone else's intentions and hidden agendas in the game. The ID cards assign you as one of the head scientists for one of the substances in the game and starts to penalize you if you and everyone else is wrong about it. What I mean is that if that card is the antidote, you lose a point for each player who doesn't drink it. If it isn't the antidote, however, you lose a point for each player that does drink it. It forces you to basically share information to players about your substance. Naturally, however, there still is counterplay and a lot going on, so think about it a bit and there are a lot of strategies. Finally, the romance cards gives everyone a secret agenda. Anything from ensuring the person to your left or right survives to ensuring that everyone gets the antidote wrong. These cards give you points for how well you achieve these objectives. So not only is it about you, but it's also about everyone else at the table and all of their secret agendas. These cards are again all secret, so you can bluff about them, make people reveal information to you under false pretenses. There is intrigue, there is deception, and there's a whole lot of lying permeating this game. Generally, your group is going to end up being very friendly and very cordial the first few rounds, but the moment someone pulls something sneaky, like tricking everyone into drinking something that's not the antidote, it's full-on war, and it's an absolute blast. So, this game is as complex or as simple as you want it to be. It comes in this small box here, perfect for on-the-go party play, and it's only 20 bucks, and considering what you get out of it, it's kind of incredible. The replay value in this game is top-notch. It's like one of those games, similar to Coup, where the more you play it with the same group, the better it gets, and the more invested everyone else becomes. I give it my highest recommendation. I have to encourage everyone to have a look at it. My big group had a blast with this one, and I honestly think you will too. So buy it. Just go ahead and grab it. It's really cheap and it's a lot of fun. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all around.
Look at this. Look at this darling boy's face. And tell me that you see the cards.
Are you changing the focus on that thing?
So it looks at him. We can see the cards.
It's my lens.